All right. Do we have a segment for you on today's The Possibility Show? Oh, you're in for a treat. Have you ever gone through a breakup? Have you ever been, let's just say, depressed, anxious? Well, the gentleman that we're about to bring on, he's mastered the relationship coaching side of it, and he actually coaches people on relationships. But before we get into that, this individual had a successful real estate business, had it all, was on top of the world, married, and all of a sudden, the storm came. And you know what storm I'm talking about? That storm in relationships where everything starts falling apart. And we're going to dive right into this because I'm excited to bring this individual on. He's created a 7-figure income business on helping people on relationships. The niche, you got it. Men who are losing it all, because once upon a time he was losing it all. And once upon a time, what was not possible became possible in his relationship, in his business, and now he's teaching others. So we have an individual here named Mr. Erik Shirkey. Shirkey?
Yep.
Shirkey?
Yeah.
Where's the last name from?
It's Irish.
Irish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look a little bit of Latino though. Where do you get that look?
I'm Puerto Rican, Italian, and Irish.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my background, Shirkey, comes from Irish.
And he's had no dad.
Yep. No dad growing up.
And a mom that supported him. So you pretty much inherited all kinds of misconceptions of how a relationship could be. And well, I'm excited to have you here and hear about what you got to share and how you got there and what is it that you're doing to create value for men who are like losing it all. But we're gonna dive much even deeper into that because your business is just blowing up right now.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate that.
Of course. And then we have Mr. Jeff Weber, Senior Vice President to over 300,000 business partners, millions and millions of customers. And we're here together to create what wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you having me on, guys. Yeah. It means a lot.
Thanks for being on.
Yeah, it's been nice getting to know you, man, as a friend. Your wife's good friends with my wife, and it's been good to know what you teach and what you're all about, about being emotionally healthy, business, being successful, but putting it all together.
Yeah.
That's where we mess up, right? As successful businessmen. And it goes all the way back to my story. I was building a really successful real estate company, right? Doing really well at the top of my game, making money, driving the nice cars.
And by the way, he drives a really nice car. he rolls up at my house one day. I'm bringing home my son, and GT3 white just pulls up right in front. And you kind of scared me right there when you bring the house.
He's like, who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Rolled up today in a black, sick Porsche.
Yeah. Yeah, I love cars, man. Cars is my thing, but it used to be a mask for me, right? I like nice cars and I always will, but with most business guys, it becomes more of a mask, right? Of what they're hiding behind the scenes. And that's kind of like what I want to talk about today. And this is the reason why I'm so passionate about what I do, right? It's because being successful is great, right? Like having the business and having the $1 million, making the money and all that stuff, it's great. But if your household is falling apart behind the scenes and your personal life is in shambles, what's the point of it all?
Yeah.
Right? There's no point. And again, I was running a very successful company, but I couldn't hold my own life together. I was drinking too much, doing drugs on the weekends, sniffing drugs up my nose, doing stuff behind my wife's back. I was a major pathological liar. I mean, I was a mess, and I was trying to keep it all together. And I thought the more money that I make, the better off things will be. If I just keep hustling, I can just buy myself out of everything. And that's what most successful guys don't understand, high achieving men is I can just buy my way out of this. I'll buy myself out of the DUI. I'll buy myself, buy my wife another expensive Gucci purse, and that'll cover up everything, right? And I get so many guys, they'll cheat on their wife, right? And they'll do all these things and they just say, oh, well, I'll buy you a $5,000 Louis Vuitton and everything will go away, right? And so there's only so much time that you can keep buying yourself until it all crashes and burns. And I see that happening with so many high achieving successful men right now. Is they're at the top of their game, they're doing really well, but what's the 3 a.m. version of them look like when they lay their head down on the pillow with all the addictions and the chaos and the anger issues and the desperation to get to another place in their life, right? And their personal life is just falling apart. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally, man.
Yeah.
I got a compliment you on being a testimony
Yeah.
because you've been tested.
Yeah.
And just by how you're sharing, I could tell that as you're sharing it, you're so passionate because I could see you going down that road once upon a time, and now you're able to direct the people who are in that
Mm-hmm.
that intersection, and you say, hey, if you go to the right, this is what's available for you, because now you're living, let's just say, the dream.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the left, you've also lived that nightmare.
Yeah.
And you've built a great platform out of it.
Yeah.
So tell me,
I mean,
what
I
is it your
never
profession? Yeah,
expected to be in this business right?
by accident.
Of helping married men save their marriage, right? High achieving men, just like myself. That's why I'm so passionate about it. So many people ask me, what do you do? I help married businessmen that are facing divorce, right? Or I help married couples save their marriage so that they can be better. And like, how the heck did you get into that? Did you go to school? Do you have some type of degree? I'm like, no, I've been through it. I've went through it myself, and I've had hundreds of mentors from that time till now, which I still have a mentor, help me along the way, right? And that's what we need, is we all need a mentor, not a therapist, right? Because therapist is just sitting on a couch like this, sitting around venting about our problems, going back to the past. There's no solutions. And the person that's helping you, the therapist, they haven't been in your shoes. So how are they going to help you, right? And so you find these guys find themselves going to therapy and doing these things, but nothing's working. You know,
and buying the books too.
Yeah, and the books, they're reading books, they're going on podcasts, they're searching and looking, but most of these guys are trying to manipulate their wife to come back. That's where it gets really tricky.
And what was the turning point for you where, say, you hit rock bottom or your wife was ready to leave? What kind of created that turning point where you decided not necessarily to get into this business, but to where you made changes in your relationship and the way you showed up in your day to day?
Yeah. It was rock bottom for me.
Yeah.
Rock bottom. You know, I had been in denial for a long time. My whole life I had spent, since I was 17 years old, drinking and doing drugs and partying and lying and hiding and doing all these things. I got 3 DUIs by the time I was 25 years old. 3 DUIs. I got my first DUI when I was 17. So I grew up in just a mess as a child and a teenager, all the way into my adult life, just constantly being in jail, constantly being in trouble all the time. And I got married in all that chaos, right?
Oh.
No healing, nothing. And so everything is always great at the beginning of a marriage, right? You go through the honeymoon stage, and there's like 5 highs in a marriage, right? Or in a relationship. You meet the person, that's the first high. You get engaged, that's the second high. And then the third high is you have kids, and then you buy a house, that's a 4th high. And then you get married, and there's this, 4 to 5 highs in a relationship. But what happens when all the highs aren't there anymore?
Yeah, maybe not necessarily in that order either.
Yeah, no, maybe not. But when the highs are gone, the dust settles, that's when the chaos comes out, because then you see the emotional bankrupt, the emotional chaos in each other, right?
Yeah.
And so it takes a long time for you to get to that point, because everybody's on their best behavior in the beginning. For the first 3 to 5 years is the honeymoon stage. But when that wears off, you see the true colors come out and the dust settles, and you have 2 people with 2 sets of different traumas, right? And they equally become like a trigger to each other. So to answer your question, I had reached rock bottom. My wife said, I'm done. I can't deal with this version of you anymore. You're too angry. You're explosive. You're emotionally just a mess, right? And the drinking and the lying. It's one thing my wife told me was, don't ever lie to me, right? Don't ever lie to me. And guess what? I was a pathological liar. So essentially what happened was I was a big trigger to her traumas, right? She grew up around lies and stuff like that. And so that was a big trigger for her.
Yeah.
And so what changed it for me was I had a mentor that came into my life, and when I had hit rock bottom, I said, I'm done, man. I don't know what to do. And he looked me in the eyes and he said, you are really unhealthy. And at the time I didn't know what the heck that meant. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm in pretty good shape. Like, what does that mean? He said, no, you're emotionally unhealthy. You got all this stuff going on. You got anger issues, you're drinking. He's like, I don't care about those things. Those are just symptoms of an inner brokenness. And so that's the one thing I had to realize, like, wow, I'm a really broken individual, right? And I need to get my life in order. And that's where my journey started. Going way back, and as I started doing the work, I looked at myself, right? And I'm like, my dad abandoned me at the age of 3 years old. So I didn't have a father growing up. And then I was raised, and my mother was dating a guy, a boyfriend for 13 years who I lived with. And he was very abusive, and he had a drinking problem, and he would hit my mom in front of me. And so I grew up and I was trained to see all those things, right? And so what we're trained as children to see is what we'll experience and put out into our relationships when we grow up if we don't do the healing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
We're bound to duplicate what we saw growing up.
Exactly. And so as I started unpacking certain things, I started to realize these things like, oh crap, I've got abandonment issues. I have codependency issues. I grew up with a mom that was very controlling. So I was conditioned to lie about everything because I was so scared to tell my mom anything. There was not a safe place to live with my mom because I had to lie about everything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the pathological lying and all that I had to really work on and get myself in a healthy place. And the one thing, watch this, this is where I really learned, is that it's never a relationship problem. It's not a marriage problem. People don't have relationship problems. People have individual issues. And so if we can get the individual healthy, right, then hopefully the other one will follow. And if two individuals can get healthy, then you have a healthy marriage. Then it works. Of course, you can work on communication issues. You can work on boundaries and how you talk to each other. That's all great. But the foundation of a healthy marriage, the foundation of a healthy relationship is two healthy individuals, right? Two people that have done the healing and they've worked through their own chaos and their own childhood wounds is what we call them. That's where the relationship can start. That's where it really begins.